Yeah, so the Dallas Mavericks. Look at that. You remember when Maxi Kleber had that disgusting black eye that looked like
Yeah.
a massive mole on his face?
Yeah.
It's like in Austin Powers where he goes, mole, mole, molly, 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 molly. In Austin Powers, there's like a guy who has a mole and he's just like, mole, mole, molly, 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 molly. I want to chop it up and make some guacamole. All right. So the Dallas Mavericks, the question behind this team, what is Jason Kidd's vision of the team? How Christian Wood fits and whether the team has enough shot-creating ball handlers are the Mavericks' two most pressing questions. But they're both encompassing by a larger curiosity. How much will change in Kidd's second year? When Kidd was an assistant on the championship-winning Lakers, the team favored two bigs and a size. Now, 6'1" Jalen Brunson is gone. JaVale McGee is signed, and Woods is set to come off the bench. What's most interesting to us is how much Jason Kidd leans on the stylistic choices he made a few years ago, and whether it can amplify a talented roster that seemingly isn't quite ready for title contention.
Nail on the head. I made a Mavs video last night, and that's what I talked about a little bit. You know, I saw that they made a trade offer or something for Jay Crowder. I think Jay Crowder would actually change a lot for Dallas. I don't think it would get me thinking this team is going to win at all. But, you know, anytime you have Luka, as we saw last season, especially taking down Phoenix and unfortunately running into Golden State, is whenever you have Luka, you're going to win or you have a shot at winning. So I can't really count them out of winning the NBA Finals. I just don't see it happening. I think it's a very long shot. You know, Christian Wood coming off the bench doesn't make much sense to me. He's way too good of a scorer. I don't think JaVale is a starter at this point in his career, which is completely fine. I mean, you're 34 years old. I don't really need you starting. And even if he was starting, I have a hard time believing he'll get over 20 minutes a night. So it doesn't really make much sense to me, the whole Wood situation. I think Wood will be starting like within a month at most, but you got a lot of nice pieces there. DFS, Reggie, Tim Hardaway Jr. If he's healthy, he'll be back to his shenanigans. Dinwiddie was a great get at the deadline. Frank Tank, defender. I think that there's still a piece away, and I think that they know that, and I think they're probably trying to scheme it out. I mean, if you get Jay, that's another nice piece right there. I don't know who the guy would be or if they're looking more for free agency. Like, basically what I mean is if they got a Donovan Mitchell type of player, there you go. Now I think you have enough power, but I don't think they have enough power to win a finals quite yet. But with Luka, anything's really possible. I mean,
You took that. That was going to be my thing. I was like, with Luka's, anything's possible. I mean, right now, every time I play, first off, I want to make sure that I don't take this 2K comparison to anything, but because I hate comparing 2K to stuff. But basically with 2K, like they're over here having Luka average like 40 a game on there. And I don't even think like that's out of the realm that Luka could be a guy having a James Harden season this year where he comes out in real life averaging, what was James averaging that one season? 35 a game, 37 a game?
Yeah, it was 36.
Okay, and I think that Luka has the potential to, have a season where he shits on James Harden. Look at this. Okay, so James Harden had a 3-year where he was 30, 36, 34. I honestly think Luka could have a season where he's dropping 36, 34 points a night, dishing out 11 assists, okay, while also grabbing like 10 rebounds. Like, I really think Luka can go out here and average a triple-double while also improving his defense. Like, and Luka isn't a bad defender. He's actually a lot better than people think. It's just that, like, he's usually really gassed on defense.
Yeah.
So, like, because he's doing everything on the offense, so it looks like he's losing. But, like, when Luka's locked in, not a bad defender. He's also really good at, like, intercepting passes.
Yeah. I would, I really like that actually. I think if I was a betting man, I'm curious what Luka's MVP odds are because that actually sounds kind of enticing. They'll be a top 6 seed regardless, as long as
Yeah.
Luka plays majority of the season. And I think Christian Wood's going to fully ascend with having a guy like Luka on your team. But kind of similarly to James Harden and those Houston Rockets, I don't think that there's enough talent. Once they got Chris Paul and stuff, like you have really good basketball players. It's not out when before Paul got there, it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that the Houston Rockets could win it all. It just was more unlikely because they didn't have that other piece that they needed. But with Luka, if he has an MVP Harden season, I still have issues running the heliocentric offense in the playoffs because I don't think it's sustainable enough. So it's possible, but I think I can't think of a player that would really change it to me. Jay Crowder would be right on I really would love that. I think Jay Crowder would be great for him. I don't know what exactly you'd be able to get rid of if we're talking Josh Green and Dwight Powell. If we're talking Dwight Powell in a first, I'm not quite sure. But Dallas, you have your guys. So I'd forget about the draft for at least 3 seasons. Like, I don't need those first-round picks at all. So,
Yeah, I agree. There's no need. You have your franchise guy. You should be using those picks to get superstars to be coming in here.
So I think that's kind of what they're starting to assemble here. Is I think they're looking for that third guy. Or their second guy, because I think Christian's going to be more of a nice third complementary piece. Or even if he isn't, you still have guys like DFS, Tim Hardaway, Spencer Dinwiddie. I think the combination of that, they have plenty of scoring, but they're just not quite there. But I think they're really getting there.
No, I agree. I don't have a concern with this team. I think it's going to be, and yeah, no. So I look at this team and I think I don't have a problem offensively. I think this team is going to be fine in the regular seasons. For Dallas to have a great year, they have to come out and get a shit ton of wins early. Okay. So that when they do hit that wall mid-season, they at least have a shit ton of wins under their belt where that they can, they have enough of a lead in terms of wins that when they do kind of falter because, either Luka loses some steam or he loses teammates. So I think
injuries. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for this team, for Luka to put themselves into, put them into a championship contention or a situation where they could go deep into the playoffs again, they got to come out and win early, come out the gates firing. And we assume that Luka coming into his first NBA season in shape, unless he, partied for 3 weeks. Supposedly Luka Doncic is like a really big partier.
Oh yeah.
Like in Europe, he's very big on the, I love that.
Yeah. You're the best. You're You're one of the best European basketball players and one of the best NBA players. Might as well enjoy that.
I've just listened to a bunch of stuff on the Mavericks, and a few of the guys are just Luka is going to be coming in, hopefully in shape for the first time ever in his career to training camp, because everyone's Luka usually comes in out of shape and uses training
always
camp.
Pisses me off. Yeah, but it makes sense.
But so people are saying but there is a possibility that Luka might have just partied for 3 weeks in Europe and just lost whatever shape he was in. Which I don't care. It's his off season, do what he wants. But it's just a thought that if Luka comes in, we saw Nikola Jokic. People don't realize this 3 years ago, which 3 years ago is when Nikola Jokic became arguably one of, if not the best basketball player in the world. He supposedly he does, I think, 2 or 3 a days. He runs a full drill before practice. He'll do practice before a game, and then after a game, he hits the treadmill, hits the weights, and does another 3 hours of practice after every single game. He does 3 hours before and 3 hours after. And
that's how you change your body, 2 a days.
Yeah. And supposedly Jokic every single day does 2 a days, even if there's a game. And he has a trainer stretch him and all that. And we saw what happened to Jokic. Only imagine what if Doncic, if he starts doing 2 a days and getting all that. I mean, there's always people forget that Doncic is our age or younger than us. Like
He's 23. He's our age.
yeah, he's our age. So like Luka is literally our age. Yeah, Luka is 5 months older than Jackson and 9 months older than me. Okay, so like literally Luka is like if you and I were NBA players.
Yeah, it's so wild, dude. It's
Like
so wild.
not just NBA players, like being a top 10 NBA player.
Yeah,
like
being an MVP candidate.
Yeah, like on pace to be a Hall of Famer already.
So that's what has me hopeful that Luka one day will figure it out. I think once he's not past his party days, but like once he's settled down, maybe just switch to vodka only, no mixers, no beer, just vodka, straight vodka. The thing is, though, real quick, I want to mention is what do you think the Dallas Mavericks ranked in defense last year?
Weren't they a top 10, top 5, number
Yeah,
1?
they're 6.
Yeah, they're
and getting JaVale really, really helps them out. So, on paper, nothing's out of the equation.
I mean, when you have a guy that is literally the combination, Luka Doncic is Magic Johnson mixed with Larry Bird. Okay,
Right.
like I don't think there's, I know Doncic has compared himself in the past to Ben Simmons, but Doc Rivers said it best: is he's got a step back 3-point shot like James Harden. He passes the ball like Larry Bird, and he sees the floor like LeBron. But I really think, the best way is that he's Magic Johnson mixed with Larry Bird. When you have a guy like that, dude, Larry Bird took Indiana State to NCAA championship. Yes, they lost against Magic Johnson, but in his first season, I'm pretty sure first season Johnson took the team to the NBA Finals. Second season, Larry Bird took them to the finals and won, I believe, or something like that. So I just think yes, I know that one guy can't do everything, but when you have a guy like Doncic who is going to be a Hall of Famer, be great, remembered as probably one of the greatest basketball players to ever touch the ball, it's unreal. And the crazy part is people don't realize is Doncic, not necessarily efficient. Okay, this is a guy who has shot league average from 3. One might say it's because he shoots so much, but I don't even think we've seen peak Doncic. This is not even peak Doncic. Doncic is going into year 5. I don't think we could get any more. This is just we've only seen rookie contract Doncic. I don't know. There's still an absurd amount of room for him to continue to grow. What's up, J King? So let's move on to the next team, and then